Good morning, folks. Well, good afternoon, depends on what time you see this. Good evening and good night. Good morning. Hey, wasn't there a show that started like that? Good morning, good evening, and good night. All right. Today we're gonna dive into finding a break in a power line, and I figured I'd share it. But before we do that, I want to thank everybody who's passing through, who's stopping and hanging out for a second. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for subscribing. Just show my appreciation to everyone. And one of our winners of our giveaways, Guitar Jam, said to me one time that he appreciate me giving back to the channel. And I was like, that's an interesting way to look at it. So yeah, everyone that watches the show or hit like all support the channel, because the likes obviously it routes I guess it tells the Google AI algorithm, blah blah blah, right? That this channel is something that's worth watching, right? When you hit likes, it's like reviews on the internet. People put reviews on your business, and other people look at the reviews and say, "Hey, okay, maybe this guy's a good place. I'll take my stuff there, or I'll go buy a shop there." So everyone supports, and then those who actually donate to the channel, of course, we thank you for that, and those who become members, we thank you for that. So appreciation. So I'm going to start this off by telling you guys the the new drawing that we have going on. Okay, brand new, and this one is what we're giving away for the Christmas holiday. And the next one, probably after this, is going to be like the first quarter. So we'll do like major stuff like these every quarter, and then I may put up like little things in between, right? Just as a way to give back. And that's a great way to do it. It's a great kind of campaign, and it is the way I ran my business back in the day when I was in sales, like direct sales. Obviously, I'm still in sales, but it's the way I ran my business, and the way I did it is I put up a contest to my guys. So I was always buying presents. I was always buying dinner for two. Movie stuff, watches, big screen TVs, stuff like that. Some of the bigger offices will put up RVs and jet skis and stuff. So I kind of grew up in that world of trips, going away and stuff like that. So I just thought it was like, it was cool. This is actually cool. I'm enjoying this. So we're actually going to be shipping this week a wet dry multi-clean by Bissell. We're going to be shipping one this week to actually Guitar Jams, because he's the one that won the last one. So we're going to be shipping that out. And he also asked for a special request, so something I'm going to be doing for him. And I'll leave that up to him whether he wants to share that or not. And but yeah, this is it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the qualifications, how to get in. This is only going to run for 1 month. This is a 1 month. And I think the quarterly ones are going to run for a quarter. That's how I'm going to kind of do those. But these last drawings for the year, they're close together. So we're going to do this for the month of November, and then by the time I ship it to you, you get it near the beginning week, second week of December. And then so if it's something you want to give to someone or just for yourself for Christmas or whatever, then this would be great for you to have. Okay, so steamer by Bissell. All right, so it allows you to do upholsteries and stairs, and they're guys who clean cars for a living, and they use stuff like this to clean cars. So this is going to be a giveaway, and I'll be putting the rules of how to get in on the drawing. Okay. How do they say in advertising? No purchase necessary. But for those who do donate to the channel, actually, you know what? Let me put it up here. Those who do donate to the channel, or you do super chats or things of that nature, you automatically get multiple entries into the drawing, so you have more chances to win. All right. So, you know, it's good to mention that. All right. So before we get started with, actually, it's a dice that I'm going to be working on. Before we get started on that, I want to answer some questions, or even just comment back to some folks who left comments for us on our channel, and then we'll segue into this. Okay. So bear with me, and but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for passing through. Okay. And let me do that. All right. Is that cool? It's like, yeah, okay, it's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Wayne, fine. That's cool. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, let me turn this down a little bit here. Hope your morning is good, man. It's funny, I'm talking about power. We're going to have a segment near the end of this where we're going to kind of see how the segment relates to the topic we're focusing on here today. But it's about power. Let's not give it away, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, so Bissell Revolution. We worked on the Bissell Revolution the other day. And this question is about the Bissell Revolution. The water's not releasing from the tank when it's sitting on the cradle. It only worked once since I bought it, right? Okay, I think I answered this one. Honestly, I did. I think I answered this one yesterday. But if you do have a Bissell and the water is not leaking, it is going to be a couple of different things. But I think my number one advice to you is to verify that that you did not use hot water in your tank. Okay. And that the same, it's like a process of elimination, right? I normally would start at the tank, and then I check. Well, let me pull that back. I check the trigger. I want to make sure my trigger is not too what do you call that? Spaghetti. I want to make sure my trigger is not just like loose, like it has no resistance, and if that's the case, then the trigger is where you go. Like yesterday's couple came in here and bought a handle for the Bissell Revolution because their handle was the shot, right? And they don't just sell the trigger, so you have to buy the handle, right? Now there's a couple of hacks that people have done to kind of make the trigger, to give the trigger some resistance, okay? But that could be the issue. And then from there, you go to the tank, all right? And if the tank has, if you put hot water in it, just know that the likelihood is very high chance that hot water warped your tank. So you don't put hot water in your shampoo or tank ever. How's that? Don't do it. If you want, and honestly, you don't even need hot water for shampoo, and if you have a rotating brush, like you have a brush that's grinding and scrubbing and all that stuff, you don't need hot water for it. All right. I guess it can help if you want to cut your shampooing time, I guess, in half or whatever, but you don't need it, so don't feel like you have to put it in there. Okay. Lukewarm water is fine. That's fine. So keep that in mind. All right. Let me see if I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody, because guys come to the channel and they ask questions, and I really do want to answer properly. Okay. This is Brianne. Brianne is pretty cool. She is definitely a supporter of the channel. And Brianne was responding to someone. It was about the energy, okay, of the channel. So I hope you guys feel the same way, that our channel have a positive energy. So I hope so. Okay. All right. But this is who I am, guys. This is who, if you knew me personally, this is who I am. And my friends put up with me because it is what it is. I am who I am. I might, you might ask me about an orange, and I might say too much about the orange. I'm okay. I understand that. I may say too much about it. Some of you are probably saying like, dude, get to the thing right now. So I know my issues, bro. You know yours. I know mine. Just don't. You know what you don't do? Don't act as if you don't have an issue, that you're perfect. No. Relationships work when I can deal with yours, you can deal with mine, and we can come together and we're good, right? and it's not a deal breaker. You know, it's not a deal breaker. Like today, I didn't properly shave, right? Can you imagine if my family was like, "Oh, I can't deal with you because you rushed this morning. I can't hang with someone who rushed to get to work, right?" Let me see if I just don't want to miss anything that has anything specific to do with a real question about. I guess I covered everything. I guess I covered everything. Thanks a lot, ton. All right, then, guys, let's get right into it then, right? Let me see. And if you have a question about a vacuum, a shampoo, or something, you know, let me know. I'll be more than happy to try to answer it for you the best way I can. All right. Okay. And that's it. I think I'm done. All right, let's move on. Okay. And again, leave it in the chat. Okay. And what I will do also, I did promise I was going to put the rules of the contest at the top of the chat. So let me do that real quick. And then we're good. All right. Now, one, you got to be a subscriber. That's the first part. Okay. I mean, I think that's reasonable. What do you say? That's reasonable. Okay. If I'm going to be shipping you a free system here, all right? Let me put this in the system. I think it's reasonable that you're subscribed to the channel, man. You know, what do you think? Huh? Okay, let me pin it. Okay. All right. So it says here the way you get in, right? You must be a subscriber, one, right? And it's simple. If you're familiar with the channel, then you just type "I'm in" and you're in, right? Now, if you're in the US, I'll ship it to you, no charge, right? If you're out of the US and you won, either you're going to facilitate the shipping to your country, or just tell me where in the US you want me to send it, and then maybe that person will hold it for you, and you guys can work it out. I know a lot of people send like barrels, you know, at one time. They'll send like a whole big barrel home to their people, and that's a way people can get it there, where, you know, if you're shipping a bunch of things to your country, you can just add it to that. So that's how I do that. But fortunately, guys, I'm not those big channels yet where I can just ship stuff to, you know, to Saudi Arabia. All right. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so this is what you do, right? This is the problem I was having. Let me turn this off. Okay, so the problem I was having with this Dyson, I just want you, I'm going to use this one as a model because I already took this one apart, and I'm going to show you what I had to do to get all the way to this section where I'm at right now. All right, but I'm going to give you an idea, and you may have the same problem. You may not want to go as far as I have to go with this. You know what I'm looking for right now? I'm looking for my gloves. I'm looking for my gloves. I had them right here. And I move it. I am my worst enemy, I'll be honest with you. If I wanted to hide something from myself, I just had to put it away myself. No one needs to hide something from me. Okay? No one needs to hide it from me. I will do a great job confusing me about where I put my keys. And so I don't need anybody else. Here we go. These are my gloves. This is the gloves I use. These gloves are in my in the description if anybody want to use this. It's a little affiliate link to get these. But this is my favorite gloves to use for stuff because it just happened to be stronger than the regular blue gloves you get from Lowe's and stuff. You can actually buy these from Lowe's too, but they seem to have a better, you know, better grip. Here we go. Put this on wrong. I got big hands, man. So, okay. Let's do this like Brutus. I say that when I'm starting to play dominoes. You know who? Oh my gosh, David asked me about dominoes, man. I keep forgetting. I'm gonna go bring my dominoes and show David some dominoes. He asked me about dominoes the other day. Okay, guys, let's get this going. Okay, so let me show you what happened. Okay, I'm gonna use this Dyson as an example. because they're basically the same. There's a few things that's different about them, but unfortunately, the parts don't quite work the same. You can't just grab another Dyson bin and just put it on a different Dyson, all right? You could do that with a Kirby, maybe some Oryx. You grab them, put parts. You could swap parts out. Dysons, no, I don't know, man. And Shark's following the same format. I'm like, come on, guys. Some of the parts should be interchangeable. But anyway, that's besides the point. So we thought that the power switch was going to be the issue for the no power to the head. It was no power in the nozzle. The motor is receiving power, right? So what I did is I said, all right, let me take off the back of this thing. You remove the hose. There are 4 screws in the back of this part right here. Turn this way. There are 4 screws behind here, right? I'm not going to get into all of that. I have videos on Dysons, and you can go through my playlist and find that. I'm going to get right to what's happening right now. And then, and it's normally a basic fix, right? You either replace the power switch, then down below, there's a micro switch, right? So, it could be that. That means when you recline the Dyson, even if it's on up here, the power won't reach the head until you recline. And there's a click, right? You don't quite hear it. You have to literally be here to hear it click. But there's a click, a little micro switch that it triggers. That micro switch now, when it either connects or disconnects, okay, it sends a signal, electricity. Really, it's not really, you know what it is? It's not really sending a signal. It's just opening the door, right? Because the door is closed when it's in the upright position. So the electricity is flowing and it stops, right? And it stops here. It's like, I can't go, I can't go, I can't go. You have a stop sign, right? Like, don't leave. And then the moment you to the floor, it hits the motor in the head, and then bam, all the action is happening. But what was happening is nothing was going down. So I said, man, damn it, let me find out. So I test the power switch. I'm like, damn, the power switch is working, right? Power switch is working, right? I went down, I opened the whole thing up. I did a little check. I said, man, that's not right. So let me show you what the confusion was, and I'm gonna show you ultimately what I think I found and how I think I solved the problem. Okay, here we go. Let me move this out the way now. This thing is in pieces. So guys, I didn't even show you how I got here because I was working on this thing, and I was like, you know what? This is actually something I should be sharing. I should be sharing this. So let me. Oh gosh. All right. I can't really talk right now. So I am going to put this on Do Not Disturb. All right. So let me show you what I got here. Let's see if I can tilt this a little bit for you. All right. I'm going to show you what I got here. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Let me show you what I got here. Okay. So honestly, you're gonna need a multimeter. How do you? I think it's multimeter is the way you say it. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Digital multimeter. I think so. Yeah, it's multimeter. If I say it wrong, but you know what I mean. But it is. I think it's multimeter. I'm pronouncing it right. All right. It's not like multimatic. No, there's no other way to say it. That's crazy. There's no other way to say it. So there's no other way to say it. All right. Like multrometer or something. No. There's no R in it. It's multimeter. All right, here we go. Move this to the side. Okay. So, oh my God, I was supposed to get a stand. You see, I keep, I need an assistant or something. I swear, man. I was supposed to get a stand to put this right here, right? So when I'm doing my little test, you guys can see this thing. once in a while, guys, I might get interrupted. So if I do, just kind of bear with me as I'm doing this because I started opening the shop again during the mornings, and so people are starting to recognize that we're here in the mornings. We normally do business after 3, so it's you periodically you'll see people. There's my boy. Give me a second. I'm gonna pause this, guys. I'm gonna pause the mic. Hey, Sam. Sam. Hey, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you call me back? I'm doing a live right now. Is that crazy? No, this it's funny. I was just talking about how the schedule was different between 3 o'clock and stuff. I tried to I tried something and I tried something. I tried hiring someone, run the business here separately, and then doing this kind of overnight gig. And I was hurting the business. How's that? I was hurting the business, and I ended up having to come back. Right? I said, man, this is not going to work. I'm coming back. And the guy that hired me, he just came by to say what's up, and I didn't know if he was going to share any kind of business information, so I didn't want to have the mic on, and then I don't know, you know what I mean. I wouldn't want him to get in any kind of trouble. Say, hey, why'd you say this on the internet and all that stuff. So, but yeah, they would ask me to come back, and I was like, guys, I can't do it. I can't come back, bro. I got to put all my energy here, man. This is honestly, this is where it's at. This is where some guys do it. I just not the guy to do that. I had to recognize that if I have to focus, I'm already scatterbrained already, right, with my tools and stuff. So I realized that if I extend that out, that's how I'm going to treat the other thing. I just have to be realistic with me, right? So it's not me. What do you call that? I'm not limiting myself. I just didn't build a system in this company here yet that will allow me to do something like that. So I would have had to have built this system first to be self-sustaining without me, for me to do something else. That's all that is. So I said, well, Wayne, you didn't do that yet. And you stepped out before you did that. And that's why your business is suffering, right? It was a fun experience. I learned a lot. I did a lot of testing, ballistic materials and stuff like that, like for the military and stuff. But it was cool, but I couldn't do it any longer. And then anyway, that's that. but you know what? It's not that different from what I do here. I just had to use my head. The only problem, when you do stuff like that, when you sidestep your logic, right? What's up, David? When you sidestep your logic, and you try to ignore, okay, I'll do it this way. Let's say I'm going to show you guys what I had to do to find the power, where the power is being interrupted. And if I ignore that, right, and I did something else. So let's say I ignore that and I went to go do this, and I'm ignoring that, and I went to go change the head. I bought a new head. I ignored this, and I went to go say maybe we could change the motor. I'm ignoring where the disconnect is, right, and ignoring it because it feels good is not the solution. Right. And that's what I was doing. I was ignoring that. It was 1 year, it was like $20,000 drop. I'm like, I can manage that. Another year it was like, and then it took like some really negative individual who was jealous of my because if you're a worker, guys, you're not going to be able to hide, like David say, hide from work. You're going to work, and if the other people around you are hiding from work, they're going to resent you. And if you're now getting promoted as a result, they can make it very uncomfortable for you to work there. And if you're like, listen, man, I'm not going to get into any altercation with you guys over this stuff. And I have a business, man. I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later because you know what I'm saying. And I just didn't listen to the signs. I didn't pay attention to the disconnect and all the other stuff. And that was my fault because I was emotionally connected to the work. I thought it was like I was fascinated and that fascination told me to hang out too long. And I like my manager, man. He's the coolest dude. He does like hiking, and so we talk about stuff like, different tools you can use and burners and all this other things. And then he also has a YouTube channel for hiking. And so I didn't want to just like walk out on the guy, but man, it was, anyway, that's what that was about. So sorry I had to cut the mic, but I didn't want to get him in any mess because those kind of companies, they don't want you to have any online presence with their company, like if you represent them and stuff like that, whatever. Anyway, that's going to continue, guys. Sorry for the delay and the distraction. My apologies, okay? Hey. Yeah, you're right, David. Always take care of your own business. That's something. That's, those are like basic truths, right? Anyway, I'll get into that later. And let's get into this. Okay. I'm going to learn to segment my show, David. I gotta focus on the basic clinic, and then I'll get into the other things I like to talk about afterwards. I think it's best I do it like that. So let me quickly get into this. All right, so let me show you guys what I did, what I had to do to find this issue. Okay, all right. So let me somewhat put this. Let me somewhat put this back. I just want to kind of walk you through what I had. The journey. I'm going to walk you through my journey. All right? See if you can walk the same streets I walked. All right, I'm going to put one screw in this because I want to hold this together. This is not even the real screw. The screw's in another box, but I just want to hold this guy together. I don't want him to keep falling off real quick. Give me a second. Hiya. This is time. Just. Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's good enough. All right. So this is what I went through, because there are going to be guys working on these, and you may end up looking at my channel one day or something, and somebody may try to find it, and it can save you some headache. So what I did, turn it this way so I can walk you through it. So what I did my little multimeter test, right? And if you don't have one, what you can do, right, is just swap out the two power switches. Just flip them. Because if you know this works and you could turn the motor on, let's say the motor's getting power, but the head's not getting power, you think the problem is this, you could probably just switch them out. So let's say you switch this out and put this one over here and put this one over here. If this is busted, it wouldn't give any power to the motor. When you click it, you're like, that's a quick way for someone at home to do it, right? You just swap them out, right? And so now if you swap it out and it's giving power to the motor, that means the switch is good. The switch is good. All right, damn, the switch is good. Okay. Then you can check your little breaker here. This is a breaker. If something goes wrong, it'll trip, right? And I checked that. So what I did is I used the same thing, right? And I don't actually know how to use all this stuff. I don't use them all. Now they even have one that beeps, and I don't use that one. Yeah, you can, but I just don't use it. I just put it to 200, and I think the one next to it, it'll allow me. It tests batteries. If you actually study this, you can. If you want to learn it, you can just study it. There's a video online somewhere. For the most part, I really only need it for continuity. That's it. So that's why I just focus on the basic stuff. All right. Anyway. All right. So when it's not down, if you never used one of these before, if the power button is not down, you shouldn't have any continuity. At least most power buttons. You shouldn't have any activity with your numbers here if it's not down. But if it's down and is working, you should see, the numbers start flipping. Okay, you should see. You should. That should be. Let me see if I can do it with one hand. David, I said I was going to get a stand and I didn't even get it. Let me see if you can see it. Now it's one. Let me see. Do you see it? Is it changing? Damn. Here you go. Okay, so we have movement. All right. So the power switch is fine. Holy cow. Hold on. Hey, how's it going? I'm good. I'm excellent. Doing a video right now. Yeah. No, it's okay. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there. I got to make sure I get candy and all that good stuff. It's probably going to be more expensive today, right? Who knows? The same? Okay. Yeah. No, 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 no. We're gonna do. We'll be in the neighborhood, and I spoke to everybody, so everyone we're all gonna be giving out candy. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Good. Look forward to seeing you guys. Okay, and I know what. And when I'm done, I'll call you back. Can I do that? All right. All right. Right. Thanks for your patience. All right. Okay, so now I have to find my way down here. Normally, this you're not going to have an issue with this line. There's not unless you literally jammed it with something. You shouldn't have a break in the line here. The next step then is going to get here to your circuit board. Okay, so what I did is I didn't want to mess with the circuit board yet, so I checked the continuity right between here, right, and down here. I wanted to see if we had action between here and here, okay, and what was going on. And that's so I was like, man, there's no action. That's crazy, right? I was like, all right, fine. And I think I had with one of them. Let me see. Let me just double check. Let me double check. I think one of them, and the other one wasn't. Let me make sure if I'm right. And my memory is not. My memory is not. Let me make sure. Nope. Okay. Oh no, my bad. Let me recline it. Let me recline it because when you recline it, the micro switch sends it allows the signal to go forward. So that's what I had to do. So let me see again. Let me double check again because I was trying to remember what the confusion was in my head when I was like, man, what's going on, right? Okay, but because one of these is the line is broken on one of them, and I'm gonna show you which one. Okay, so this is not what I found. So now I said, okay, let's see what's going on. So what I did is I wanted to test both of these connections here. All right. This thing is, if you notice the way this is set up, this may be wrong. Let me see. I may have to flip it around. Let me see here. I gotta read. You know what you have to do? Like when you assign these things, you just try to go back the way you came in. So now if you notice the way the lines work, they're very simple. It may seem really complicated, but these things are actually very simple because really you have your neutral and your live. Okay, so it's still the same thing. The neutral and the live that's coming in here is gonna still have to make its way, even though they have all of these circuit board, all this stuff is in the way. It's still gonna have to end up. The black and white is right here, right? So I'm just working my way back up. So then I said, all right, let's see what's going on. I want to see if I have a connection between here, this black wire, okay? Because these two here is black and white, the same thing, neutral and live. So let me see if I have a connection between this guy and this guy down here, right? All right, let's see. Yep. So now let me leave this plugged in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Shit. All right. So I have action. Okay. So that's between the left side over here and the black. So when I did the white, right, I said, all right, well, let's see if this one has connection. And I went and there was no connection, right? There's like, oh, God, let me leave it plugged in again. See, if I had my stand, I'm going to have my stand tomorrow, man. Okay. Okay. Let's do it again. All right. So all I'm doing is I'm putting the prongs on this end and the prongs on this end, and there's nothing. And I'm like, so that's the problem. The problem is when this power is leaving here, Okay. I got no power. Okay, so where is it? So then I was doing a quick little deal. I got a little bit of what do you call that? A razor. And I just stripped some of the coating off of this because I want to expose the copper inside. So I said, all right, let me do this, man. Let me find where along this line we have a disconnect. Okay. So I go from here to here. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. So what I want to let me show you what I got. Let me see if I can hold I'm going to use my belly to hold it in place. We have action. See that? Wait. Yep. We have action. So from here to here, we have action. Okay. Then I did another one from, let's say from here to here. I just kept going down the line. I wanted to see because it's in the line somewhere, guys. So from here to here, let me see. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Yep, I got action in this little section right here. Okay. All right. I can't really show it to you right now. But then the reason I put this little yellow tape right here is because between here and there, nothing. Right. So I put one right here. And then I put the other one right here. And nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And I don't know what could have caused it because this is on the inside of the unit. It's not in like a bending scenario. You know, it's not where it's going to break. You know, when you bend a metal, you keep going like this, it'll eventually break. If you crip this, maybe, you know, you did something, you know, like it would break. That's a possibility. So there was no reason. There's really no reason in my mind that this should have a disconnect, but it does. Okay. So what I want to do now is I'm going to end up having I really honestly don't want to mess with what they have going on here with these prawns down here. Probably the best way to do it is to find a way to replace this whole thing. But these things are not being sold. So I have to get creative. Okay. And it's not in a position where if I put it like this, it's going to mess anything up. So I'm just going to splice this with a new wire. I'm going to cut it right here. I'm going to cut it right here, and I'm going to see if that fixes the problem. And if it does, we have a fix. Okay. And then what I'll use is some shrink. I'm going to use some shrink, one of these shrink wraps, and I'll just cover it securely, and then I'm good to go. So let's try it out, man. Let's test my theory. I'm going to use this yellow, right, to kind of go along with what I have going on here and see if it works. Okay. And but I wish you could have seen this. Let me see if I could put it here. Maybe you can see it. Ah, you can see. Okay. Let me put it right here. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got. All right. So I can show you what I'm talking about, right? All right. So here to here. So like I said, I cut little holes in, and I have liquid electrical tape. I'll just cover it. Okay. Because that's all this is. This what's that? Vinyl, plastic, rubber coating. So it's the same thing. All right. So from here to here, you should be, let me see. I just have to get it right in there. Here we go. Okay. Yep. You see that? We have movement, right? And then from here to here, okay. I'm just trying to get it right in between. Come on, baby. Come on, be happy with me. Come, let's work together here with a positive attitude, huh? Okay. So I was just kept working my way down. All right. So we good here. All right. And then, like I said, when I went here, I just want you to see it because you couldn't see it before. When I went from here to here, no action. Okay. Also, when I go from here, right, to the nozzle prawns, let me show you. Where's the white? Where's the white at? I want to make sure I'm sticking in the right one. You got to stick it in the right one, guys. See, we have action. We have action from this point down. We have action from here to here, but we have nothing in between here, and this is the disconnect. And a lot of the times, honestly, it's hard to figure out where your disconnect is, but it's necessary if you want to fix a problem. And attacking the wrong problem, it's not going to fix it for you. You know what I mean? If I kept complaining about, let me just cut, I have to cut this right here. Let me cut it. Let me cut it. It's going to be a little difficult, but I'm gonna get it done, man. I'm not afraid of work. Right, Dave? We ain't afraid of work, man. So I'm gonna cut this, and I'm gonna cut this because this, whatever it is in between here, is bad. This tiny little thing is causing the problem. The weakest link is causing the problem. Happens with companies too. The weakest. Okay. I'll save it for later if I remember. But the weakest link, sometimes, it's not, you know, sometimes it's not even like the player that can't throw hard or the player that doesn't run. Every team is going to have a weak link, right? This happens to be the weakest link. And it's a tiny little thing. You think it's nothing. Tiny, it looks like, well, how is this a problem? This tiny little thing. I use friction tape over vinyl electrical tape. Like motor? Really? Friction tape. Well, damn, dude. I'm going to look into that. Thank you. You see? This is where you come to get info, guys. You know, say we freely share, man. So friction tape. David, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm just stripping this right now, and I'm gonna do a quick test. Now, unfortunately, this kind of looks, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of room here. Okay. Look at this. Now, if I had a lot more room to work with, I would just do like a regular, you know, if it wasn't a, I would use something like this. Let me show you what I would, gosh, if I can find the damn thing. I would use like connectors, like the little prongs that you just, you know, or the one you twist. But this is one of those tight little areas, man, that you can't really do that with. And like I said, I didn't want to mess with this. This is what I didn't want to mess with. I didn't want to have to try to replace this whole thing here. Okay, so I figured let me just splice the wiring. Okay, but for the sake of the test, I'm gonna take it apart, and I'm only doing this right now as a temporary fix for the sake of testing. Okay, because I want to see if I have continuity from here to here. That's ultimately what I'm trying to fix. Okay, so let me splice this up. Okay. Yeah, man. You know, it's a shame when you work with people that you really like, and for one reason or another, you have to go, you know, and that's what I feel like, you know, because it's sometimes, man, it's some companies, you work places, some, especially in corporate, they work with people that they just don't like. And because they have to pay bills, they got to take care of stuff. They feel like they need to stay. But man, working with folks that are real cool with you, you kind of, you know, that's a good, you want an environment like that. You work with people that you actually enjoy working with. That's a positive. Here we go. Let's see if this fixed the problem. But like I said, the real fix is not going to look like this. It's going to be it's going to be neater. Here we go. So now here's the test, guys. I hope you can still see this here. Okay. And let's see if I fix that problem, because I may have been barking up the wrong tree. Who knows? Oh, I got connection. Problem solved. Problem solved, guys. So a lot of the times, guys, that's what it is, man. It's somewhere in the wiring. Somewhere in there is a disconnect. And if you do your job, if you do the inventory, you'll find it. You'll find it, even within yourself. If you take the time and start to systematically figure it out, you'll find a disconnect. If there's an interruption in production, if there's an interruption in your state of being, your happiness, or whatever it is, if you do the inventory, if you do the systematic, you'll find it. It's just that sometimes we don't like what we find, and sometimes we may think it's too small. It's too small. It can't be that. Or the prospect of opening this damn thing, because these are not fun to open up and try to put back together. These are not fun. Okay. It is. I enjoy the challenge, but for the regular end of it, it's not fun. It's a pain in the butt. It's a disaster to try to open these. And a lot of the times, the real issue, people don't want to have to deal with it. Like, you have to go tell them, man, look, I had a guy I work with that, two people actually. And when you're working in a crew where you're in a vehicle, everybody is like close together, right? And this person had very bad odor. Nobody wanted to say anything, but I'm the leader. I have to say something, right? So I have to pull them to the side and talk to them. But who wants to do that, man? People are so afraid to deal with scenarios like that because it's very personal. But at the same time, it was making it very uncomfortable for the people to work every day. But you have to go and tackle it. You have to tackle it. You do your best you can, and hopefully it works out. But you're being sincere. You're being truthful. Some guys are very blunt, so it may come off wrong, and some guys find a way to but you have to do it though. You're causing a disruption in the team, and you have to do it. You have to do it. There was a teacher the other day that maybe it was a principal, but she got laid off or fired, or she got removed from her position. And what happened was, I guess her school was having a low rating in their grades, right? She took it upon herself to talk to the kids that were the low performing kids, okay? And happened to be the black kids in the school. And she's a black teacher for the sake of description, right? And I purposely, I don't say African American, right? I say American. So I would just say Black American or white American if I want to describe more Hispanic. But African American is a misnomer, and I have my own reasons for that. I have my own reasons to say that it's a misnomer. It's not. It's your nationality is American. But that's another thing. I'll talk about that some other day. But so she put them together in the auditorium or whatever, and told the kids that, listen, you're gonna have to get your grades up because right now our scores are down, and I want you to step up or whatever. And the parents got upset and they said it was racist and all this other things, but it was the truth. That's how she saw it. Whether she should have went to the parents, whether she should have had a school-wide meeting, I don't know, man. But if that's the truth, it's hard to tackle the truth in a way that everyone is happy. And she ended up getting laid off for it. I still hope that the parents of those kids take her intention and her word seriously, because it's hard to tackle things like that, right? And some people prefer to powder it with powdery words, and sometimes it doesn't do it. It just makes you feel better about not taking accountability, and it doesn't work. Unfortunately, when you're in a system that values other people's feelings and emotions over the truth, the person that speaks the truth looks like a villain, and that's how that works. So that's where this is a segment, guys, where I left I kind of now I can move forward into talking about stuff that I talk about. This is my casual conversations, David. Yeah, I appreciate what you try to do. I swear I do, man. And it's so unfortunate that speaking the truth, how tough it is, gets people fired, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, man. How far down the road are we going with this stuff? You know, I mean, I had to tell someone, and I may have shared this with you guys already. I may have, because just bear with me with my memory if I didn't. The guy was talking about okay, how's this? Forget about the exact incident. It's the sentiment I'm trying to convey. So people were talking about the currency and how other countries have the gold and how, America is, we could end up losing the battle and the dollar and all this other stuff. And it was some kind of joy and glee in their voice as they were talking about it, because they were taught that America is the enemy. Okay. And I'm like, do you realize that you live here and your children live here and your grandchildren will be here? And if here is decimated in any way, if the value of our currency, if our sovereignty, if our security, if all that stuff is sabotage in any way, we will be affected. We will be the ones paying the price. Are you really happy about that? Because it sounds like you are. That's weird for me to hear that from you. Like, if I'm living in my house and my kids were happy that, let's say I had a mortgage and the I don't know, the bank is going to try to collect on the house, and the kids are talking about it, and they're like, man, watch, the bank's going to come take the house. It's like, guys, would you really be happy if the bank came to take the house? Where do you think we're going to live? I don't think people hear themselves when they're gleefully celebrating that another country had one up us or something like that. It's ridiculous, man. It's like there's a disconnect there, guys. And some people don't listen to themselves as they're spewing stuff. They don't hear it. They don't hear themselves speaking. The words, they don't hear it, It's like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Anyway. So Dave, let me tell you that analogy I was thinking about when I said, and I'm gonna wrap it up here, because I like I said, I didn't realize going away for just a few days would have me so far behind. I am way behind in services that I have to get ready for people to pick up and stuff, and that's money on the table. But this is that segment I'm talking to the crowd, right? So the analogy it was about that. Remember, I was trying to find that it's in I think Matthew's 10:28 or Luke 12:4 or 5 or something like that. And it was I think Jesus was talking about don't fear the one who can kill the body. And because I messed it up, right? But the one who can destroy both the body and the soul. And the way I looked at it in everyday world, because that's more of a spiritual thing, but on the analogy for everyday dealings with people, because that's really how the way we apply stuff. Really, it makes sense if you're gonna take the examples and apply it daily, But anyway, that's whatever. The way I took it, right, for everyday dealings, is there are people out there that they rile you up on a word that someone said, or they rile you up on I think this guy is a misogynist, I think he's a racist, I think he's xenophobic, I think he's this, and all this other stuff. They get you riled up on that. And I was like, you know what? The guy who you think is this: that person has no power over you. They have no way to affect your life. Okay. But you're mad and you're angry and you're pissed off and you're like, oh my God, you said this word and all this other stuff. Right. But the person you really got to be afraid of is the person that can convince you that you are not worthy or that you are not capable. That affects your life. You see what I'm saying? Like if someone insults me and call me, oh, I don't like your complexion, you're too dark, whatever, right? I don't care. I enjoy it. Oh, you're a black guy. Well, yeah, that's the truth. That's who I am, right? You're gonna insult me? That's ridiculous, right? And if you call me a name that's not my name, right? You're not doing nothing to me. But the guy who I'm afraid of is someone that can convince me to either leave my family, a person that can convince me that I can't make it. You can't do it, man, without us. You need us to survive, to succeed. If someone can convince you that you are less than them, that person got you. That's the real person that's you got to fear, not the individual that you think is calling you a name or look at those. I bet you they're looking at me because of this. So what? What does that have to do with milk and bread and your job and your success and your health and your well-being? But the person that whispers in your ear, that's telling you that you can't do it, that we need to, like that, for example, the principal, you kids, you need to step up your game. You need to study harder, go back home and study and read and get better at this math, get better at science. But the person that says we need to lower the passing grade for the young black kids. Why? Why? Because they're in impoverished, and blah, blah. That individual will keep those young black kids like that. Not the one that's telling them you need to get your shit together. The people that pat them on the back and cuddle them, that do it. Oh, baby, we know you can't make it, and we're I know we're privileged more than you. You understand? Or the black person that says, how are they going to expect our kids to make it? Or it could be white. It doesn't matter. It could be white, whatever race it is. I'm just using it as an example because it's closer related to my life. That's all. So it has nothing to do with the color and red. It's whatever it is, man. It's woman, whatever, right? That's what I'm saying. The person to fear, to be watch out for, is not the guy who you think, because you have an American flag on his shoulder, that oh man, I bet you that's stupid. That's patriotic. I have American flags. I'm patriotic. Well, you think I'm a racist too? It's ridiculous. But guys, that verse there had me thinking about that. And that's what it is. Sorry if I didn't answer your questions, guys. I'm going to take a second and look over at the computer and see what's happening. All right, let's see what we got going on over here. All right, friction tape. Appreciate principal. Yep. I gave my wife motivation speech 2 days ago. She's still not. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. It was another episode of When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. Yeah. I hear you, man. I know. But unfortunately, man, it doesn't help lying to people. Maybe I can learn. Like, how they gave us medicine and they'll put it in, I don't know, candy or something, sweeten it a little bit or whatever. Okay, fine. Maybe I can find a nicer way to say it, but that's not the important part. You should not be conditioned unless, of course, you have no other way to receive the medicine, right? And that could be anything from a physical ailment to a mental ailment or whatever, right? But for the most regular a functioning individual, you should not need your messages to be candy coated in order for you to receive the truth, man. That is, you're setting yourself up to be a very weak individual. I'm talking about like regular guy walking the street without any kind of major, uh, I can understand someone who was assaulted by um, a person with glasses, and then when they see someone with glasses, they're like, "Hey, man, I'm not sure if I trust that guy." I totally get that, right? You have to overcome it because you don't want to be fearful of people with glasses because that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. But I can get someone that says, "Man, people with glasses, man, I don't know, they assaulted me." Eventually, you're going to have to overcome it. But a regular person that without none of those things should not rely on their messages to be softened and sweetened in order for them to receive it. Regular folks. And I don't mean that people are not regular, but you know what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm saying. Like a guy coming to work and expect the boss to, if you don't sugarcoat your instructions to me, I won't be able to function today. I mean, what? Are you serious? You're a 22-year-old kid. What do you have going on that you need me to sugarcoat the message? Let's get the job done. And you're not doing the job right. Okay. Let me show you how to do it right. This way, next time we won't have this conversation again. Okay. And I can't believe you said that to me. It's like, dude, how fragile are you, man? So anyway, that was my message for today. I hope it reaches the right ear. Okay. And I'm super positive. And that's it. You know what? You know who, but Dave, I tell you this, who's the only person on the world that can really get me, that really knows how to stick a screwdriver in my side and probably get a little bit of joy out of twisting it. Sam. Oh my God. Sam's the only one that knows how to trigger. She's the only one that knows how to trigger me, man. Because I guess my expectation is for us to be conquering the world together. And I don't expect that. But she's strengthening me, right? Because I think she really gets a sick joy out of doing this. So she strengthens me, right? Because I have to always know how to, I gotta have my shield up, man. I can't just be ultra sensitive because she definitely will say something that kind of, try to get under my skin. Oh my gosh. But we've been together since 1999, bro. So whatever we're doing is working, at least for now. That's awesome. But that's it though, man. The people that have the real danger is someone who can get inside your head. You know what I'm saying? The ones who tell you that you're not good enough, make you doubt your values, convince you that you're powerless without them. That's the dangerous person. Okay. And that's not the guy who you think is a sexist and misogynist, all these names they're giving people. That's not the person you need to be worried about, man. The person you need to be worried about is the one who cleverly gets you to believe that you can't accomplish it. That's the danger. And if people can get that in their heads, bro, they won't be so quickly triggered by these simple words or I think that was a sexist remark. Come on, man. Let's get out of here with that stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for passing through. David, it's always a pleasure, man. Brienne! Oh, Big What's up, girl? You snuck in. Man, you told me you were going to find time to slide in and out, right? I appreciate it. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, you said you lack the ability to wrap the truth up in cheese. Yeah, you know what? That's not a flaw, bro. That's not a flaw. When they said I'm gonna keep it 100, right? Let me hit 100. Let's put 100 in there. Where's that little thing? Where's your little where's that thing? Let me see if I can do. Can I do 100? Boom, 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 boom. That's 100, David. They say keep it 100. I mean, what? Keep it 100% or something like that. Keep it a buck. David, I would prefer that you told me the honest truth. Okay? Rather than give me some, candy coated with ice cream on top, but underneath is just crap. Okay? Come on, man. We need to get past that. Okay? And it makes us a stronger people. Okay? We're at the end of the day, I don't know who's listening to this, but I'm here. I'm here on this side of the planet on this team. This is my home team. This is the team, right? If you lived in New York and then you moved to Florida and you now like the Miamis or whatever, and you're gonna say, man, I'm down with the Miami Dolphins or the Heats or whatever. That's your team. That's fine. If you move from New York and you're still a Giants fan, all right, that's your team. That's your home team. I get it. But I'm Team America, okay? And everyone that lives here that is American, I'm down with you, man. I want you to be sad. Doesn't mean I wish bad on anybody else outside of this. But we will be a stronger people if we are not so easily triggered and not so dependent on people feeding us crap and that looks like candy, okay? Because that's not helping us. That's like giving somebody medication, and instead of the medication, you're just giving them gumdrops, and it's not a placebo situation. It's like they really need the medication, right? But you're giving them gumdrops. It's like, why'd you give them the gumdrops? Because it tastes better. It's like, come on, what? What are you talking about, man? Oh my God. Anyway. Let me see something. I found a guy that I saw, and I'm gonna end with this. And sometimes it comes from people that most people wouldn't listen to because they don't tune into their feed, right? They don't tune into their feed, right? But sometimes young guys from all walks of life, you don't know where they're from, they'll tell you some hard truths that people don't like. And it's a hard truth. And I heard this guy speak on this thing. It's a little kid. He got to be like 25, 26 or whatever. And I said, oh, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. You don't have to like the whole thing. You don't even have to agree all the way. It's just that the truths don't have to come real dandy and true. Let me see if you can hear this, because I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it all the way, but listen to this young kid.
I don't want.
Here we go.
Like I'm overthinking it because I know a lot of y'all can't keep up, but this SNAP benefit situation clearly shows y'all could not survive a world built off natural selection. If the government really stood back, if they just let everything go and let the world be who they want to be without them, y'all would not survive. Let's say they just.
Let me see if I did it now.
But you have to do everything else yourself. Y'all would not survive the natural selection. You couldn't get your own food. You couldn't keep your own crib. You couldn't educate your own kids.
I can't get on that big screen TV for some reason. It's a little kid right here.
A world of natural selection. Y'all response to the SNAP benefits is don't celebrate the holiday. Keep your money. Everyone's going to be affected because food prices going to go up. Yeah, but this is natural selection. This is how the world moves. Without the government, right? What y'all going to do when all those wolves start attacking the sheep? You either going to turn into a wolf yourself, you going to follow behind them like a fox, or you're going to be slaughtered. That's how natural selection works. And there's one issue with just benefits. It's showing y'all that y'all are biting the hand that feeds you. A lot of y'all are against the government. You constantly protesting. You constantly talking about them. But then you turn to the same internet where you're bashing them and you're trying to hold them accountable to continue to feed you and put food on your table. They don't have to do that. This is them showing you we don't have to do a lot of the things we do. But they understand the benefits of who they are. And a lot of people take it for granted. You can't be biting the hand that feeds you and then turn around and talking shit about the person who that hand belonged to. It don't make any sense. Y'all have to pick a new battle. Pick a new fight.
What's going on, everybody?
It's that young kid. And so it could be about something else. It may not even, the issue, forget about the SNAP benefit part of it. It's coming to realization that it's on you. And if someone assisted me in something, then I take that assist, great, but it's on me. It's on me. You understand? And I'm not gonna now bash you while you're assisting me. It creates a bad mental loop in your head. And people do that all the time. People do that all the time. That's how betrayal happens and all the other stuff. People do it all the time. But it's here. And I have to look inside here and pull it out. And if you learn how to do that, you could do it all the time. You can always go in here and pull it out. But if I'm always conditioned to look there for my assistance or look there for my motivation, what happened if there decides to change? What happened if they decide that they don't want to motivate me anymore? They decide they don't want to feed me anymore. They decide that they don't want to pump me up anymore, right? So I don't know how to pump myself up. I don't know how to motivate myself. That is not a good place to be. I'll take the motivation, but I have to learn to motivate myself. I have to have my own way to get myself ready for the day, get myself positive, to get up, to do the job. I have to have my own level of what's that? Your standards to apply to the work. It can't always be that David is telling me, Wayne, you're going to have to do this part right. You can't always be the one telling me. I have to eventually get to a point where within me, man, I got to do this part right. I got to develop like a sense of, like this is the right way to do this. This is the right way to do this. If I don't develop it, and I always need you to be the one, you may not be, I don't know, man. You know what I'm talking about, man. I'm talking to the choir. You guys already know this stuff. Brianne, you already know this stuff, girl. David already know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, that's it. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I got some Kirby's to do. I got some sharks to do. I got this commercial vacuum to do and a couple other. I got a few Kirby's, so I got to get to work. So Brianne, thanks for coming in. Let me just look one more time on your on the live stream and see what you got. Man, Brianne, what's up, girl? All right, let me see. Tired of getting here. I try to get here early. I'm in the late again. Yep. Hey, Brianne. Hey, David. I'm here. Deliver facts, not diabetes. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that. I'm not good at sugarcoating things either. I am not mean, but I won't lie or sugarcoat it. Yes. Guys, you guys are the best. Like attracts like. Okay? And I really, listen, I am honored that you guys find the time to come and hang out with me and really truly say what you mean. And you know what's good? And I swear I'm done. The fact that that's how you guys are. I take your comments and any compliment you give me, I take it serious because I know that you're not sugarcoating. Like you said, the Guitar Jam said, I wish the channel was a lot bigger. Yeah, I wish my channel was a lot bigger. Eventually it will. And if it doesn't, it's still a good work and I'm still connecting with really sincere people. And that's the people I really want around me. If I had 1,000 people and only 2 were sincere, do I really want 1,000 people or do I want the 2 that's sincere? Because those 1,000 people could be stabbing me in my back It could be stressing me and pressuring my head. And the two people that's sincere says, "Hey man, we got your back. We're with you." And that's positive. That's for real, for real. And then if it grows like that, then that's the proper growth. Because now you have 1,000 people who are sincere. Okay, that's the proper growth. Everything else is processed food and stuff like that. Stay positive, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have an afternoon show. If something really smacks me in my head, I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll turn on the camera. But for now, I'll see you guys in the morning. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. I appreciate everyone. Take care. All right. Oh, let me make sure I'm not saying that. You have to get things right. Oh, tell me. Let me see what you said, David. I want to get the last comment in here. You have to get things the right way, or you can't keep it. You're absolutely right. Quality over quantity, Brianne. I appreciate that. And that's it. That's why I like you guys, man. You guys are for real. Talk to you later. Bye.